Hi everybody, welcome to Purple Goddess Timely Tarot Tuesday. I always enjoy spending some time with you during a little video about a tarot card, and tarot is about practical spiritual guidance. And as we continue to evolve on this planet, the tarot gives us some really good symbols to think about and challenge us to develop to be all that we can be. And I pulled a really good card today. Are you ready? Here we go. So this card is from the Major Arcana. It's one of the big cards in the tarot, and it is Temperance. And it's related to the astrological sign of Libra. And it's about many things, but Libra is known for being about balance. And here we have an angel with two cups, pouring water from one cup into another and trying to keep things in some kind of a balance. So let's take a look at the different symbols on this card and what it might mean for us today as we continue a new journey this year of 2022. And so I want you to think first and foremost about growing your angel wings. That might seem like an odd thing to say, but we're so laden down with what I describe as 3D consciousness. And that's just about our day-to-day getting, dressed, getting through all the tasks that we need, feeding ourselves, and if we've got children, our families, and working and dealing with COVID and the winter, and it's just, the basic survival things that we have to go through on a day-to-day basis. But I want you to think about putting your angel wings on and think about being in not just 3D, but 5D. What is that? And Carolyn Mace, who's a great spiritual teacher, lives in the United States, who wrote a wonderful book called Anatomy of the Spirit, talks about imagining that you live in an apartment building. And this is her story of how to, think about the difference between 3D and 5D. So she said, you can choose to live on the first floor of the apartment. And you look out the window and you see the, cars going by if you live in the city and people walking, and, that's your kind of worldview. And she said, now imagine you take the elevator and you go all the way up to the penthouse. Now you had a whole different view up there. And so every once in a while, actually it's not every once in a while, quite frequently, I imagine myself looking at the world from a higher perspective. It doesn't mean a better perspective. It just means I'm in the penthouse and I'm looking at the bigger picture of life, the 5D. And, where am I going? What's the big picture? And on this card, we've got kind of a path leading to, the everlasting city or nirvana. So what path are you on? If you're in the penthouse, looking at your life with the big picture and the biggest consciousness, you got your angel wings on, what do you see? What pattern have you had in your life? Are you somebody that has a reoccurring pattern? Sometimes people are afraid of love and they run away all the time. Or sometimes people turn to addictions as a way to cope with life. So I want you to think about what patterns you have and how this year you can begin to alchemize your life and bring into balance the old part of you and a new part of you. And here you are, you're wearing your angel wings. You've got one foot kind of dipped into this pool. This might be your unconscious, it might be your shadow side. A lot of us work with our dreams. We write down the dream we've had the night before and work with the symbolism. That's one way to kind of bring your life out of the shadows to make what's in the unconscious conscious. So this person's, dipping into the unconscious, but their other foot's, on the ground. And they're balancing water, the element of water. We are able to mix different ingredients in our life, alchemize our life to make it to be whatever we want it to be. And sometimes we have forgotten that we have this ability to mix different things about our life, but we have to sometimes bust out of old patterns to kind of work with that energy. And this person's got wearing a little amulet, and it's a triangle, and it's in the triangle is also in a side of a square. And the triangle is often referred to as the feminine consciousness, you know, the yoni, the gateway of birth and death. And it's in the kind of the square, the masculine. So this person's experimenting with their masculine and feminine energies. And we know these energies in, you know, our 3D world have been really compromised. And it's time to reclaim these beautiful energies. It's okay for men to be soft, for women to be tough. It's okay to mix these masculine energies together. This is the great work of life, is to bring into union all these different things in our life, which is what this person's doing. They're alchemizing many different energies. And they've got like a disc on top of their head, just sort of like the third eye. You know, the third eye is kind of this in between our eyebrows. It's not something we can see, but when we can tap into understanding, and this comes from like ancient teaching from India and Egypt, that there is a third way of knowing and seeing the world. And I take us back to that story about, do we want to see the world from the ground floor where everything's just running around, we're just, you know, putting two and two together, or do we want to take the elevator and put on our angel wings and say, wow, there's a much bigger picture of the world here. The world's dominated by fear. Maybe the world should be dominated by love. And how am I going to serve a higher consciousness on my path so that I can truly align with who I'm meant to be? And how can I use that alignment to bring joy and love and happiness to others? So here's to balance, to temperance, and finding our higher self. It's a wonderful journey, and I look forward to seeing you next week, where we can continue to explore all this beautiful expanded consciousness that's happening on our planet right now. Blessed be. Bye for now.